It's really been 4 years since I've started my weight loss journey. That's around what, 1,400, 1,500 days since then. That is so many days just stacked on. A lot. That is a lot. It's been that many days since I decided to step down, finally heal my past traumas, and move forward and push forward, leading me into a new existence, almost a new life. I was reborn almost 1,500 days ago. I'm here today to talk about my story, my full-on weight loss story. Now, people often get confused and they shame me. They're like, oh, it took you 4 years to lose weight. What? It only took me like a few months to lose weight. My journey went up, down, up, I went down. Like I said, it's long. I want to talk through every point of what I've learned, how I've overcome that situation, and how I've pushed forward to the present moment, the way I look now. I've actually lost most of my weight initially in the first year, which should be normal for most people. It usually takes 1 to 2 years to get down a good amount of weight from being at that obese level. Now, for some other people, it may take a few months actually, because you can be an experienced lifter and shred on fat and calories like I'm doing now, or you could have just done it quicker with, lifting more weights, being on a restrictive diet, and doing more cardio. Now, let's jump into 4 years ago. 4 years ago, I was the 240-pound kid. I wasn't even the person I was today. I couldn't ever imagine myself ever going back to him. And it's literally impossible at this point to go back to him. I need to just explain the way he used to be. I'm gonna repeat it again and again. I was very depressed, lived with social anxiety, constantly dreaded waking up every single day, dreaded hating myself, ate copious amounts of junk food, watched hours upon end of porn, played hours upon end of video games, and lived in an endless dopamine cycle where I was just consuming in order to function and live. There were times where I couldn't even socialize with other people. I couldn't even talk to my own parents anymore. I couldn't even communicate my needs with anyone at school or even with my own friends. I used to look down all the time like this and not even look up at anyone's eyes or make eye contact with a single person. Couldn't even speak up or say words out of my mouth at times because I was that scared. I was that socially anxious. I was that afraid of life, afraid of living every day. And being bullied in school, that too made me more afraid. One day, I decided to say goodbye to my friends, and I almost did it. I can't talk about the event, but all I want to say about it is it led me to realize that I really needed to change. I really needed to change something in my life. I needed to get something done in order to push forward and become a better person. I truly wanted inside to become a better person. I've had it. I've had it with the life I was living. And I realized, hey, I need to make a change. I will make a change. But I just couldn't force myself to take action. Now, what happened was I was forced to join the wrestling team. And I'm kind of glad for that decision because I really couldn't take accountability or action back then. So I kind of had to just let people force it into me. And it worked. It worked. I joined the wrestling team. I started lifting a little bit of weights in the weightlifting room. Started doing more cardio throughout the day. And it worked out fine for me. Everything was going to be okay. On wrestling, I was on a calorie deficit. Did daily cardio through running around the field at school. I lifted weights 3 times a week, and I ate light portions of food at school lunch or at dinner at home that my mom would cook. So I actually lost a lot of weight when all these little things added up all together throughout time. And the cardiovascular work we did in wrestling, I don't know if y'all know much about wrestling or the sport, but like the work we do inside those mats is pretty insane. And being that obese kid that never did sports at all growing up, It was a lot on my body. And I've kind of leveled up my body so much over time that, I can handle many things. And so in total, throughout my wrestling season, throughout the first 6 months of my weight loss, I've lost 55 pounds. I've probably lost over 55 pounds. So I ended my wrestling season around 190, I believe. It was 190. So it may almost been 50, 55 pounds, 185, 90, 55 pounds. And that was the end of my junior year season in wrestling until COVID. And so what was I left with at COVID? Not really much. Kind of just did a lot of cardio. I had like these little 8-pound dumbbells in my house. So that was like really the only thing I could work with besides doing body weight exercises as well, sit-ups, push-ups, pull-ups, you know the deal. But what happened during COVID was I was still eating the same. I wasn't eating as well I was during the season, but I kind of maintained my weight. I lost 10 pounds over the summer, which is crazy because people said when I came back to school, I looked so different compared to who I was from the start of COVID to August. And people were like amazed with my progress. And I was like, oh, I thought I didn't change that much. I lost 10 pounds, but little changes in the scale really do change and add up over time. After COVID 2020 and going into 2021, I started my senior year of wrestling, my second year of wrestling. And what happened was I developed very unhealthy and toxic habits that I regret. I fully regret it. But there's nothing I can do to go back and fix it because I've learned from my mistakes in the past. What ended up happening was I went all the way from 175 to 145. I lost over like 30 pounds throughout that wrestling season. And it was tough. I was super, super, super skinny and lean at the end of the season. Now, with me lifting weights, you might have thought, wait, but you should have had some muscle. There were many days where I actually skipped the gym and I was just trying to do cardio or eat less or undereat, which were bad habits and very unhealthy, which led me to losing more and more weight, but almost in an unhealthy and toxic way. More of in a toxic way because I wanted to prove everyone wrong. I wanted to prove the bullies wrong after all, when I already did. I've already previously did. I told myself, I want to lose more weight. I want to lose more weight. I want to get more skinnier. Instead of, oh yeah, I can build muscle. I can look better. I can do different things now. Compared to who the person I was previously, sitting in my room, doing the bad habits, which I still did the bad habits at times, but they were separated from weeks or even months at times. So that was okay. It's a step-by-step process. You want to become better than who you were a week ago, better than a month ago, better than who you were the previous day. So when I look back, I'm like, well, that skinny kid who was trying to lose all his weight, he didn't know much. He had that goal. He pursued that goal. Yeah, he was capable of it, but he made many trials and errors throughout the way. And that's okay. And I embraced it to the heart. It was like a big double-edged sword because I wasn't eating enough protein, but then I was also building up my discipline and really developing my character. So after high school ended, I went through college. College. And this is what leads to throughout the next 2 to 3 years of my life. After 2021 and going into 2022, what happened? What did happen to me? What happened was I didn't work out as much anymore because what happened was I was so fatigued. I was so tired of doing physical activity. I was like, I just want to take a break, and lay down and do nothing like the old me used to do. I felt like I was almost turning back into him because then I started going back to those same old habits that I used to do back then. The bad ones. But what's funny is he was very burnt out. He was very burnt out from wrestling. He was very burnt out from the mental stress, from losing all those matches, from losing all that weight. And he was just burnt out and left with no purpose left. And so his purpose now was to just be an ordinary person and go to college, get a degree, I don't know, graduate, make everyone around him happy, just live a normal average life. But something deep inside of me was like, no, you're not going to do that. You have a story to tell. You have lives that you can save. You can do more than you think you can. And so throughout the many months that I stopped working out, I decided that I wanted to go back into the gym. And what even gave me a more motivation to start in January of 2022 was I lost a loved one. I lost somebody that I really loved deeply. I don't want to talk about it or go into depth into it, but someone very close to me died kind of right in front of me. And going through that traumatic experience that I went, it was stuck in my head for weeks. I couldn't get out of my bed because every night I was going in bed with regret and more regret and more regret. And I thought, after weight loss, I thought everything was going to be okay, but I thought things were just really taking the worst. They were taking the worst turn. And I was like, damn, I don't know what to do with my life. Am I really going back to the 240-pound kid? Am I just gonna relive that again and again and stop the cycle that I was in? I was like, no, I'm gonna step into the gym, I'm gonna build muscle and get abs. That was a big goal of mine I had, and do something with my life and find my purpose, because that I was lost. I had no self-improvement. I didn't know self-improvement was a thing during my wrestling season. I just went in there and did the work. But until I stepped into the gym, until I started working out, until I started consuming more content, finding out about self-improvement, finding out about bodybuilding, and finding out about self-developing yourself, those things really did save my life. And so this was the start of not weight loss, but a new journey for me. So I started eating more protein. I went on a PPL split that I found online, and I started going to the gym 5 to 6 times a week, doing a lot of cardio as well, which wasn't really necessary for me to run all the time because I was trying to build muscle. But we'll get into that later. Throughout 2023, I was still in college and I was learning how to train properly, but one problem I faced during my 2023 bulk and me adding on muscle through hypertrophy training, hypertrophy, I don't know, it's hard to say, was the way I was eating. Nutrition was always a big problem for me. I didn't know how to eat right. I never realized how bad I was actually eating, how much protein I was actually under eating as well. I also wasn't tracking my calories, and I thought 2 scoops of protein, 3 scoops of protein a day was gonna magically make me gain muscle, which it kind of did actually help me gain a lot of progress in the gym, and same with creatine, helped me get way stronger as well. But I could have built muscle more effectively and more smarter if I were to have dived in deeper and learn about these things. But that's the thing about weight loss. You make mistakes and that's okay. And the same thing with building muscle. You make mistakes and that's okay. So I added on a lot of muscle actually in size, but I got fat. Fat in the belly especially. That's where my body usually stores most of it. I was so unconfident in my body. I had all this muscle built, but now my belly was just back to where it was possibly before. And that was me at like 190 pounds. So I was getting big, man. Now what's funny is on August of 2023, I created Gaman. This is the time where I wanted to lock in on an actual calorie deficit. I created Gaman as a personal brand because personal branding was getting popular in 2023 and everyone making their own social media. So I decided, okay, I want to make a social media. I want to document my fitness journey. I want to document my weight loss journey, and I want to inspire people and keep myself accountable with my nutrition and my training. And that honestly saved my life. In 2024, after 2023 making the Gaman page in August, I had even more of a passion now for bodybuilding because I was consuming a lot of content. I was ready to eat clean whole foods and really tune out my physique. I really worked on my nutrition, training, bodybuilding, and hypertrophy knowledge. Hypertrophy, bleh, I can't say it. I would say I made a lot of good progress and really focused on building my structure and preventing any sort of fat gain. So most of it was fixing my fundamental mistakes and adding on new muscle. I made a lot of sacrifices and tried my best to document my journey on social media, but things became up and down kind of with it. Now I'm here today with okay abs. This is the skinniest my waist has actually ever been before. And I'm weighing around at the 165, 168 range right now, which is crazy because I've added on so much muscle. It's almost like a body recomp if you think about it. It just shows how much muscle I actually added on from being a 145-pound kid who had barely any size of him. But in the end, I got to love myself again. I've struggled with years for accepting myself for who I was. I had so much body dysmorphia, negative thoughts. I didn't even know how to control myself at times. If I can go from 240 to almost 145 and reconstruct my entire identity, you can make something big happen as well. And building muscle on top of that, balancing with school, work, life, it just takes a lot of discipline and energy out of you to do it. You can do anything. Just literally set your mind to it. That's it. I also overcame many past traumas and lifelong mental battles and issues within myself, but I am just getting better day by day. Remember how I said it takes 1,400 to 1,500 days? That's what's called consistency. It takes days upon end to build up consistency. Once you get the consistency down, the good habits will feel like nothing at times. And they'll just be automated. Life is just at times a day by day thing. Trust me. I just want to thank you all for actually spending the time to listen to me yap, watch through this entire video. I hope that you are truly inspired by my story. I hope that if you're starting weight loss, or if you want to lose weight, or if you want to build muscle, or if you want to start the gym or start something new, I hope you take inspiration and you do it today. You do it tomorrow. You write it down and you do it. I hope that you found this video valuable and just start like I did. He overcame his traumas. You can as well. It's crazy. It's been 4 years. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching through. God, man. Signing out.